Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
More evidence has been released and reported on indicating that President Trump had some strong forces out against him during his election. Sources show that it's possible that the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Justice Department under President Obama tried forcefully getting Democratic Party nominee Hillary Clinton elected. Democrats simply blow off these ideas as an anti-Trump conspiracy and something that is simply based in right-wing nonsense based not on facts. But there are facts that prove these allegations, at least circumstantially. Text messages were released between FBI Special Agent Peter Strzok and FBI lawyer Lisa Page that suggest there were 2 points to the anti-Trump election plot. The first being a way to exonerate Clinton from her crimes with her private email server and her breaking the Espionage Act through her mishandling of classified documents. Had Clinton been charged for her crimes, she would have been forced to drop her candidacy in 2016. Which is why people were working to make sure she wasn't prosecuted so she could continue her race. The second part of the plot was getting a crime that President Trump committed. Which is why they fictionalized the Trump and Russia collusion story. They needed a way to make him look like a criminal instead of Hillary. The text messages prove this. Strzok and Page exchanged these messages because they were romantically involved and at the time would trash-talk President Trump. They called him an idiot and loathsome on numerous occasions. While the comments about Clinton were nothing but adoring. In one set of text messages they said, "Page, and maybe you're meant to stay where you are because you're meant to protect the country from that menace." This is clearly a reference to a Trump presidency. Strzok, thanks. And of course I'll try and approach it that way. I can protect our country at many levels. The clear implication is that Strzok had done many other things unmentioned that he thought was protecting country. Which very well could have been concocting false allegations and evidence against the president to somehow prove he was colluding with the Russian to get him impeached or not even in office. Fox News reported. Just 1 month earlier, then FBI Director James Comey had announced he would recommend that no criminal charges be filed by the Justice Department against Clinton. Given all the incriminating evidence against Clinton, Comey's view that she should not be prosecuted made no sense by any objective standard. This is where Strzok played a pivotal role. As the lead investigator in the Clinton email case, he is the person who changed the critical wording in Comey's description of Clinton's handling of classified material, substituting extremely careless for gross negligence. As I explained in an earlier column, this alteration of 2 words had enormous consequences, because it allowed Clinton to evade prosecution. This removed the only legal impediment to her election as president. Documents made available by the Senate Homeland Security Committee also show that Comey intended to declare that the sheer volume of classified material on Clinton's server supported the inference that she was grossly negligent, which would constitute criminal conduct. Yet this also was edited out, likely by Strzok, to avoid finding evidence of crimes. This seems to be what Page and Strzok meant when they discussed his role as protector of the Republic. It appears that Strzok was instrumental in clearing Clinton by rewriting Comey's otherwise incriminating findings. Were Page and Strzok also referring to the investigation of Trump that was begun in July 2016, right after Clinton was absolved? After all, Strzok was the agent who reportedly signed the documents launching the Bureau's Trump-Russia probe. And he was a lead investigator in the case before jumping to Robert Mueller's special counsel team. If there is any doubt that Strzok and Page sought to undermine the democratic process, consider the scripted text about their insurance policy against the risk of a Trump presidency. Strzok, I want to believe the path you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that there's no way he gets elected, but I'm afraid we can't take that risk. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. The reference to Andy is likely Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe, who was also supervising the investigation of Clinton's emails at the same time his wife was receiving roughly $675,000 in campaign money in her race for elective office in Virginia from groups aligned with Clinton. What was the insurance policy discussed in Andy's office? Was it the FBI's investigation of Trump and his associates? Or was it the anti-Trump dossier that may have been used by the FBI and the Justice Department as a basis for a warrant to wiretap and spy on Trump associates? Perhaps it was both. The faux dossier was also another way to try and delegitimize President Trump. The dossier turned out to be fake and full of alternative facts, and reporters were fired because of it. Turns out that the dossier was funded by the Clinton campaign and the Democratic National Committee, while Comey said it was salacious and unverified. It's been alleged the dossier was used to try and illegally place Carter Page, who was a Trump campaign associate, under foreign surveillance. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein refused to answer questions about it when he was questioned on Capitol Hill. That speaks for itself. Fox News also reported the dossier scandal recently ensnared Bruce Orr, a top Justice Department official, who was demoted last week for concealing his meetings with the men behind the document. Orr's wife worked for Fusion GPS. This created a disqualifying conflict of interest for Mr. Orr. He was legally obligated under Justice Department regulations to recuse himself from the Mueller investigation of Russia's role in the election, but he did not. Congress needs to find out whether the dossier was exploited as a pretext for initiating the Russia probe against President Trump. It would also be unconscionable, if not illegal, for the FBI and Justice Department to use opposition research funded by Clinton's campaign to spy on her opponent or his campaign. Both agencies have been resisting congressional subpoenas and other demands for answers, which smacks of a cover-up. Since the Justice Department cannot be trusted to investigate itself, a second special counsel should be appointed. This new counsel should also reopen the Clinton email case and investigate the conduct of Strzok, Page, Comey and others who may have obstructed justice by exonerating Clinton in the face of substantial evidence that she had committed crimes. If Strzok or anyone else allowed their political views to shape the investigations of either Clinton or Trump and dictate the outcomes, that is a felony for which they should be prosecuted. The Mueller investigation is now so tainted with the appearance of corruption that it has lost credibility and the public's trust. It is very much like a trout in the spoiled milk. Share if you agree the Trump-Russia collusion story is a farce. Follow us on Facebook at Freedom Daily.